What's up? Jeremiah Krakowski here. I hope you've had a great day. And I want to talk about learning to flow and the fact that you have to learn to flow, which, by the way, I know that learn is spelled wrong. I did that on purpose. And if anybody's watching this video, hopefully either you clicked, you got a laugh from that or whatever. That's a thing, though, is you have to learn to flow. And even if you make mistakes, even if you spell things wrong, even if you put stuff out there that maybe you normally wouldn't, just roll with the punches and keep flowing. When I was writing this on the board, I actually misspelled it, and I thought maybe that would be a great example for you, is that it's okay to just keep moving forward. Oftentimes our ego is so struck on trying to be perfect all the time and do everything perfect, and oh, how am I going to get in trouble if I look bad to other people, or what's going to happen if I drop the ball here, that we don't know how to flow. Now, what is flowing? Flowing is when you're in a state of mind that you don't care if you make mistakes. You just keep flowing. You just keep doing it. And oftentimes when it comes to writing, when it comes to video, when it comes to ideation and coming up with ideas, when it comes down to writing stuff on paper and mapping things out, we have to learn to flow. And again, if you're logging in right now, I do know that that's spelled wrong. What you need to do is get into that state to where you intentionally don't correct yourself, where you intentionally don't stop to fix things, where you intentionally do things flowing and you keep bouncing and rolling with the punches and then picking up the pieces as you move forward. This is how a professional athlete works. And the way that they become an expert at what they do is by flowing through that. They don't beat themselves up when they make mistakes. They don't get upset when they mess up, when they drop the ball. You see, we believe in our head that doing that is going to help us, but it's actually the thing that repeats, it perpetuates the failure, is by beating ourselves up over our mistakes. We are perpetuating the same cycle by picking up the pieces and getting upset when we fail. Learning to flow is being okay with the mistakes, learning from the mistakes and moving forward. And then you can go and correct them as you go along. So like, for instance, right here, I'm going to do this. Okay, that's not how you spell learn. We're going to put learn. That's how you spell learn right there. And so in this post, I want you to realize this, is that if you are so stuck on getting everything perfect, getting all the pieces in order, picking it up, making sure that you dot every T and cross every I, and that you're not misunderstood or that you make any mistakes, that you will keep losing. You will keep failing. You will keep trying to reach a goal, and it will always be just a little further along. But as soon as you can learn to keep rolling with the punches, to where it's not about perfection, I'm talking about excellence and discipline and consistency to do the things that work. And you want to know what works is flowing and not trying to be perfect all the time, not trying to do everything perfect, or else you can't do anything at all. Flowing is you get into a state of mind where it is natural. You literally don't think about it. When I hop on these videos, I don't think about it. And the way that I taught myself to do that is I started making videos not worried about how I look, how I sound, or if what I said was good, and things started to flow. When I write and I just type. I literally just type a page out. I don't care if the grammar or spelling are right at all, and then I load it up into Grammarly and edit it, and I go back and edit it. You know, oftentimes I see people when they do video, they're in their head so much trying to not say the wrong thing or communicate something in a way that's going to be misconstrued or misinterpreted, or that, you know, their peers won't judge them, or maybe because they've judged another person for the mistakes that they've made, and they don't know how to flow because they're so focused on perfection. They're so focused on looking good to other people. They're so focused on a gold star of validation that says, I did good today, rather than getting results. You doing good is the opposite of getting results, because all that does is it serves your ego for a temporary dopamine hit that says good job, and then you still are left with nothing at the end. But what flowing is discipline and excellence and taking ownership over your choices to move forward, to say, you know what, it's cool if the doorbell rings, or it's cool if my kids come over here, or you know what, it's okay if I misspell a word on a video. And that's why I left that word misspelled on purpose for you, because I wanted to show you that. I wanted to show you that it's okay to make mistakes and even leave them. Because what's going to happen in the end is consistency. What's going to happen in the end is you are going to be consistently doing what creates muscle memory in you. You are going to learn to where you don't have to think about it, and you will start to get excellent at it, and you can have tools to help you get better over time. Oftentimes I see people, they won't do a video because they're worried that there's no market for it or it's not a good fit, and so they literally do nothing because they're worried about doing the wrong thing. And that very thing will always keep them in a state of do nothing, never accomplished, because they're so worried about getting it perfect. But flowing is, I don't care if it's perfect or not. I know what I'm doing. I got some bullet points. I got some guidelines. I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to keep dribbling the ball. You ever seen a basketball player dribbling the ball and they're not really thinking about where that ball is because they become an expert at that. I bet there's things in your life that you flow with all the time, like driving a car, for instance. You don't think about everything, but you remember when you first got behind the wheel of a car, you thought about everything. And there was a shift that happened. There was a shift in driving where you stopped thinking and you actually got better at driving by not trying to do it so perfect. That happens in making content, making videos, teaching, writing, building a business, leading, anything that you're wanting to do. And so what is your area that you're learning that you want to flow in? What is that thing? I want you right now, tonight, this week, to flow in that area on purpose, intentionally, not trying to do everything perfect. Think about it. What would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? Or what would I take a risk in if I knew that not trying wasn't an option? If I didn't care about other people's opinion about me, what would I do? And then do that thing even if you fail. That is how you grow. Taking a risk, moving forward. Please, this is how you will learn to flow. We see these experts. We see people that are like to the top of their game at whatever they do, okay? But they got there starting where you are. And they got there by eventually realizing that it wasn't an option for them to be overthinking their goals. It wasn't an option for them to be perfect. And the way that excellence and quote unquote perfection by our standards of humanity comes in, if you ever maybe look at Tom Brady, or you look at just anybody that's famous and successful and amazing at what they do, they tell you that it's actually getting to the place where it becomes natural and you're not thinking about it. It's just flowing through you to do it. But the only way that they ever got there was practice and multiple failures, multiple mess ups to learn from, to grow from, and to keep moving forward. So that's how, my friends, you can learn to flow. It's okay if you make mistakes. It's okay if you spell something wrong, because you can fix it later. It's okay if you post something online that gets no engagement, that's irrelevant to your audience. It's okay if you post the wrong thing. It's okay if you do something wrong, because your identity is not tied to what you do. You can choose what you do because you know where you're going, and you got to get real clear on who you are. Who you are is not what you do. And when you get clear about that, you can learn to flow with the best of them. Grow your life, everybody, and we'll talk soon.